Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. First of all, I just want to say thank you guys for your patience. It's taking me a lot longer to get around to painting, let alone being able to create a tutorial for you guys and then upload it is taking forever as well. So what I've done here with a handmade stone using a mold from the HappyDottingCompany. I love you, Angela. Link to her Etsy shop is in the description if you would like to make your own molds as well, molded stones as well. She has everything there that you need to create beautiful works of art. So we are going to do a hummingbird. I'm going to show you more. You can't really see what I'm doing with the pencils, so I'm going to explain the background a little bit. It's just black paint, and then I swiped on some metallic, what is it? What color is that? It is metallic berry. It's just a metallic pinkish color. And I swiped on a couple of streaks in one direction and then I let it dry. And that's what's going to give us a cool background. You can do this with any color metallics that you want. The more you swipe on there, the more metallic you have. But I like just kind of swiping a little bit of metallic across in one direction, and it gives a nice background look when we're done. But you let me know what you think of it at the end of the video. Once you see it resin, you will be able to see that background a lot easier. So I'm using an ink blue. We're going to do like a fancy colored hummingbird today and some beautiful flowers. You guys were requesting this nonstop. I couldn't believe the amount of people asking for this tutorial. I did paint this originally on a little compact mirror that I'm going to be putting in my Etsy shop, and I fell in love with it too. And you guys definitely let me know that you loved it, and that's why I am now creating another one on a stone. You can use a stone, you can use a fake stone, a real stone, you can paint on a canvas, paint it on whatever you can find around your house that isn't going to be something you regret later. And yeah, you don't have to work on stones. If you just want to paint something cool with me, find anything, a vase or a coaster. Just start it off black and go from there. You can create whatever you want on it. So I'm going to do like a couple of big long feathers at the tail of our hummingbird, and I'm doing it all in this one color, the ink blue, and then we're going to define some of the feathers with some metallics a little bit later. Now if you hear any noises, I have two cats in here in my office with me, and they like cardboard boxes, so if you hear anything, it's them getting into mischief with the cardboard boxes. So while I let the bird dry a little bit so that we can work on that, you'll be able to see the shape of it a little bit better and the wings and everything once I've outlined everything. But basically, you can pause it or slow it down so that you can see the shape a little bit better, but it's definitely a little bit easier to see once I add some detail to it. So I'm using a little bit of brown called maple, and I started that off with my branch, and now I'm going in with green thicket, and I'm kind of going in the middle of the brown. So I still want to see some of the brown, but I'm bringing in a little bit of green to our branch here. And yeah, I'm not sure why I'm choosing the colors I'm choosing. I'm just doing it. We'll see how it looks when it's done. You guys trust me yet? You trust me? Tell me the truth. What do I do for you guys? Do I bring you a mess? Or do I bring you magical, sparkling beauty? So I'm still letting the bird dry a little bit, and I'm going to add some petals. Simple. You guys have seen me do some cherry blossoms before, so these are very much the same. I'm just going to do them a little differently this time. We're not going to spend as much time as I did on my last cherry blossom tutorial with the little purple butterflies. But this is going to look just as pretty, I promise. So I'm starting off with a nice baby pink, and they're like little soft diamond shapes. I'm doing 5 petals on each one. I don't know what kind of flower this is. If it resembles a cherry blossom, then I've done something good. If they just look like nice flowers in some kind of fantasy world, I'm doing very well. So I'm okay with that. I just want to make something pretty for you guys and something to take your mind off of the stressors and hectic world that we live in. Yeah, who wants to look at bad news all day? Who wants to listen to bad news all day and flip through bad news when you're just trying to find something to put your mind at ease? Well, here I am, guys. I'll take the crazy on for you, and I'll bring you some artwork. How about that? Life has definitely been crazy here, but we've been getting outside a lot more in the backyard, and like putting our deck furniture out, and the kids playing in the sandbox, and it just makes me happy that even though we're having, kind of like a lockdown situation and we can't really go anywhere or do anything or visit with our friends and family, we are making the best of it. And I hope you all are as well. I'm just so glad the nice weather's here because it's really hard to stay inside this tiny little house that we're in with basically 3 adults, because my son is 15 and my youngest son is 6, and he's like a bull in a china shop, and he's like a bright light full of energy, and he takes up a lot of space for a 6-year-old. So yeah, we are enjoying the outside a little bit more right now. Thank you, Mother Nature, for allowing us to have some nice weather. So I did a first layer of baby pink, and this is like one of those times where, guys, I'm not using a sponge. I think you can see that I'm actually working with the brush strokes on all of this. So I'm going to work with brush strokes on the hummingbird, and I'm going to work with the brush strokes on the flowers. All I'm doing is doing a first coat of the baby pink, then I outline it with magenta, and then while it's still wet, I go in with some more baby pink, and I just kind of bring some of that magenta into the leaves, into the petals. So I'm just dragging it in from the outline. And they're really messy looking, but they're going to look gorgeous when they're done, I promise you. They just look like a mess right now. But we're going to add some glitter and some gleam and some outlining, and we're going to make these look fantabulous. I don't know why you can't focus on things when I try and put them in front of my camera. I am not a professional video person, and I do my best to make things easy for you guys to see, but it doesn't work out sometimes. So I'm using a nice metallic blue, and I'm just scraping on a little bit, not scraping, but smudging with a dry brush and a very small amount of metallic paint. Small, small, small. I'm basically just dusting on some metallic to the top of the head right here where you can see it's getting all shiny. And then you can see a little bit better. I'm bringing some shine down to the wings. And you'll be able to see these wings better once I outline them as well. A little bit under the chin. We're going to leave the face open in that dark blue. Just leave it like that. We just want metallic in certain areas. So down the belly. And if he looks like an overweight hummingbird, he spends a lot of time with these flowers. So he's healthy. He's a healthy hummer. Oh, Lord. So I'm just bringing a little bit of that metallic down to each feather. You'll see that a little bit easier. I'm trying to show you, just trying to define some of the feathers with that metallic paint, but I don't want to cover the whole thing in blue metallic. I do want to see some of that plain flat blue behind there as well, because this really helps give some definition to our hummingbird. Now, here's the magic touch. It's called Tanzanite, I believe, and it's a metallic purple. It's gorgeous. Yeah, Tanzanite. It's from Folk Art. I'm going to list all the paint names in the description of the video, as well as the fine lining brush that I'm using, and how to find the molds to make your own stones and all that stuff. My Etsy shop link. My Etsy shop is on vacation right now because I'm at home with my kids and there's just no way for me to earn a healthy income with both of my kids at home. So I've been forced to put my shop on vacation mode, but it's only temporary, and I'm slowly stocking up items to put in there once I am allowed to open back up again, once the economy's opening back up and the kids might not be glued to my hip. So I have outlined with this Tanzanite just each feather. I'm only doing like 5 at the bottom, and I just outline it, and then I kind of bring a couple of flicks of purple up towards the upper part of the feather, starting at the bottom. So you might be able to see it a little bit better right here. I'm just kind of coming from the bottom and dragging up a little bit of the purple, and I do that along with the feathers on the wings as well, but you'll see that a little bit later. I'm letting some of the metallic dry, and I'm working on these gorgeous flowers again. They're dry, so I'm putting a little bit of nail glitter. It's like a pinkish, like a pearlish colored glitter, and I will list that in the description of my videos as well. And I'm just dabbing a little bit on each petal just to give it some gleam. There's going to be some sparkle in some different places here, so I do add triple thick. You can also use Mod Podge to hold that glitter in place so it doesn't run down the rest of your rock when it dries. Anything like a clear glue, Mod Podge, triple thick, anything you want to keep it in place. Let it dry before you seal it with resin or any other kind of sealer. Just make sure your rock is dry. So you can see I've kind of separated my wings with the Tanzanite, the metallic purple. Now I'm going to outline. You will be able to see this hummingbird a lot better very, very soon. And it's okay if we have a nice thick black line around it. It depends on how much of a mess you make with the purple. You might have to outline it thicker, but that's okay. It's still going to look beautiful, and it's still going to stand out from that background because we have like a pink metallic background as well. Like I said, you'll be able to see all of the details so much better when it's resined, but I hope that you're able to follow along with this one with me, and I hope I can cure some of your boredom temporarily as well. I want you guys to know how much I miss you and how much I think about you when I'm not painting with you. It's honestly my getaway. This is my fun time. I haven't had much of a social life because we were living 2 hours away from our friends and family for almost 3 years. So we've kind of been on our own and kind of lonely for a couple of years. And now I really rely on my art therapy to get me through some stressful times. So I really want you guys to know that I've missed you and I miss painting with you. And I'm hoping that there's going to be a new normal and I'll be able to paint with you guys a little bit more. So I am just finding an eye for our little hummingbird. And it's like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like, it kind of looks like a little seed, like a little sesame seed, but it's got a little tail on it on either end, because I have one little tail going towards the beak and one little tail going towards the back of the hummingbird. Now I've separated my wings at the back too. You can see 2 of them. You'll be able to see them a little bit better soon. And I've darkened the beak all the way down to the flowers, and I'm also outlining every petal of the flowers as well. So you can't see, but that's what I'm doing. And while I'm doing that, you can stare at the little boo-boo that my cats give me, my black cat, Max. You probably saw it in the last tutorial too. It was it was a fresh wound in one of the last tutorials. It's getting better now, and I've been putting aloe vera on it. So it's his little love scars. I know he loves me. I annoy the heck out of him, so I deserve the scratches when I get them. And he comes back and tells me he loves me afterwards anyway. So I might have put some thicker black lines around these petals. So I'm just kind of running along the black line with some more magenta, that dark pink color. And see, they're kind of scruffy looking, these flowers, but they just end up looking so cleaned up and beautiful, and I fell in love with them when I was done making the compact mirror. Yeah, they're pretty easy. They're scruffy looking, and I'm not using a sponge, guys. Oh, wait, I lied. I am only using a sponge to make a little black circle in the middle of my flowers. There you go. My videos made a liar out of me. Now I'm going to use some berry wine, and we are still letting some of the metallic paint dry on our hummingbird, but I'm using a dry sponge with a very small amount of berry wine on it, and I'm sponging over top of that black, but make sure the black is dry. You don't want to make a mess of things. And now I'm adding just a bunch of little berry wine dots. Just kind of gives it the look of like little flower bits coming out. I don't know what those are called, those flower bits. This is magical flowers in Rachel's Rocks world, okay? These are not realistic flowers. So I used a little bit of black and a little bit of that baby pink that I had in the flowers originally, and it turned into a gray. And I'm using that gray as his little feeties. And then I'm going in with a little bit of black to kind of like separate his little toesies. But I'm not doing anything special. That's it. Nothing. We're not putting little like wrinkles in his knuckles or anything. Like, that's it for his feet. Sorry, guys. I don't want to disappoint. So we haven't added gold. We have to do that. So I'm running gold just along the top of his beak. And we're going to put a very small amount of gold on his eye as well. I know, I've never seen a hummingbird that looks like this either, but I still love them. So here we go with the gold paint under the eye and a toothpick. See that? Just little teeny dots just right under that eye there. He's already coming to life. Now I'm putting a little white bit on either side and a boop boop. He's alive! He's alive! And he's thirsty for these little scruffy flowers. And I needed more gold. So I am just kind of outlining my little branch here with a fine line of gold around it. I'm not being a perfectionist. I'm just running along and missing little bits and pieces here, and that's okay, because I really just want it to kind of shine a little bit. Once we resin it, I just want that little bit more shine on the branch. You don't have to do that. It's optional. That's what's fun about painting with me. You can look at mine and say, ooh, that's nice, but I'd rather do something completely different. And you're allowed, because I love you. And I'm just here to inspire. So I did a couple of little buds right there at the side. Nothing fancy. Nothing too, worrying about his feet again. Don't worry about his feet. No one's going to care. And yeah, you can see the separation between the two wings because I did do a thicker black line, and I brought that line right up like just below his eye there, you can see. So once this is done, and I will be posting pictures as well on Facebook and on Pinterest. If you want to take a look at a still photo, if that's easier for you to work off of, that will be available on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram. And I would love to see how you do with yours. I'd love to hear about it. Let me know what you think. Do you think he looks alive now that we've added the little bloop bloop to his eye? I got to come up with my own terminology. I'm on my own here, guys. So I have sealed it with resin, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add crystals to the flowers now that they're resined. I have to let it sit for a little while before I add the crystals so that they will cure while it's drying. Like while it's curing, the crystals will dry into the resin. So I usually wait until my resin has cured for about 8 Oh, I'm sorry for the notification, guys. I usually wait to stick my crystals on when, about 8 to 10 hours after I've resined. So I resin them at night. I get up in the morning, I put the crystals on, and it's still really super sticky. And they just sink right into the resin, and it just holds it there forever. So if you want to add crystals to anything, use resin because it really hangs onto them there. And you keep the facets. You can resin over them, but they look totally different. I like to see the sparkly facets, so I usually add my crystals after I've resined, like I'm doing right now. But yeah, I love you guys. I hope you love this. Let me know. Don't forget to subscribe. Keep painting.